pipe in here so the flame isn't coming in direct contact with the blade. I do have clay on this blade for a hamon. It's a bird trout. I don't knock that clay off of the blade when I'm pulling it in and out. Now listen, this isn't a how-to. I've been doing this for, well, since probably 2015, 2016. And judging the color of the steel is something I feel like I've gotten pretty good at. It doesn't look very dark in here, but it's darker than it looks, so I can see the color really well. And what I may even do is I'll turn around where it's a little bit darker behind me and I'll look at the color. That's probably going to look hotter than it is on camera. Yeah, we're about there right now. We'll go in a little bit more. This is 1075 high carbon. Bird trout, differentially hardened, clay coated, hamon, whatever you want to call it. This one's about ready to go in the oil. The oil's right here next to me to my right. I got the blade tilted back now. And my hand's starting to get kind of hot. About straightness. Just want to knock the clay off here. Going back here where you can't see me, and I got a fixture in my vise, and I clamped the hot blades in to let them finish cooling down. Before they, these freaking tongs are so hot. I let them cool down in the clamp so they stay straight. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Sorry, I put my gloves on. Slicer, clay coated. I like to try to keep it in the heat, equal amounts on both sides. That doesn't probably mean anything or do anything, probably just superstition. But it is what it is. I haven't had any issues. You do get the occasional warp, especially on a blade this long. I'm pretty sure this blade will work, but it's not the end of the world. It can be fixed. And tempering in the jig I have that is clamped into my vise right now. I put it in that jig on my vise to let it finish cooling down, and it's basically just clamped together between some thick rectangle stock steel. actually hitting the knife. The inside of the forge, the inside of that baffle is red hot, and I'll show it in a minute. Out there. Not a how-to. I do things my own way. They work for me. They may not work for you. We don't have any issues. Markwell Knife Co. on Instagram, Markwell Knife Company Facebook. Custom made, kitchen, outdoors. Pretty much anything. These tongs are starting to get really hot. We're about there. I'm going to tilt the knife a little bit so it goes into the oil parallel. And we're there. Keep it moving. Clay's starting to crack off. Slight warp in the handle, not too crazy. Hot tongs. Alright, now we got a few hunters to do here. Hunter model. I'll just kind of set in there because I don't have any clay on them. See it in there. Still flip it over, keep the heat even. It's starting to discolor already. Get that purple. Sweating pretty bad. It's not too hot here in Nevada right now in Henderson, but standing in front of this forge, it gets pretty warm. Now these I will actually thermal cycle, and this is how I do it. I don't know if it's effective, if it actually works. Can't really tell any difference between knives that I don't thermal cycle and knives that I do, but I do it. That's the way I do it. That's that. So we're almost same color all the way through. Just for a visual for you guys, 1075 steel, pretty basic steel, underrated steel, pretty much bring it to non-magnetic. right there. Got another one here. Look at into the fire, you can see the color change start to happen, and that's when I generally like to start making sure it's getting flipped over and heated evenly. Even though everything looks the same color in there, between the fire brick and the ceramic board and the rectangle stock that I use as a baffle, the bottom and the top of the rectangle stock are not going to be the same temperature. They'll be pretty damn close, but they're not going to be the same temperature. Once again, not a how-to. This is how I do it. This is how I've been doing it for 7 years now. I've sold hundreds of knives. Not many complaints. Some complaints, to be honest. Handmade objects are handmade. They're not going to be perfect, but they're functional, they look great, and made of great quality materials. Made in the USA. Alright. Brush was right in front of the camera. I can't even look at it. This one's getting a little bit of decarb on it. Not a huge deal, just a little bit. Means my fire's changing a little bit. Ooh, that's hot. Turn the air up a little bit. A reducing flame, not an oxidizing flame. There we go. About ready. Okay. I'll thermal cycle all 3 of these, and then we'll come back and we'll start going through and actually heat treating them. All right, so we got all three of those hunters thermal cycled once. Now we'll start from, I believe the middle one was the first one I put on there. The one on the left and then the one on the right. We'll go through and start heat treating. Don't grab these with your hands, they're still really hot. Brush this guy off real quick. Bit of decarb. Nothing better when you're standing in front of a forge than an ice cold Gatorade Zero Orange. Not sponsored by the Gatorade. Hit me up, Gatorade. So, I've said it a couple times. Markwell Knife Co. on Instagram, Markwell Knife Co. on Instagram, Markwell Knife Company, YouTube, Markwell Knife Company, Facebook since 2015. These are all OG hunters. 1075 high carbon steel, underrated steel. Holds a great edge. If it's heat treated right and tempered correctly, it's a great knife steel. All the super steels get all the attention now, but 1075 has got 0.75% carbon in it. It's a lot of carbon. More carbon than most any knife you're going to buy at any big box store. Holds a great, very shallow edge, and it holds a great, very thin edge. Like I said, if heat treated correctly and tempered correctly. All right, so we're about to go into the oil with this one. Non-magnetic is kind of a good starting point. Non-magnetic, magnetic back here. But experience is key. I've done a lot of OG hunters. I've done a lot of 1075. There's not much time for soak time as with other steels like 1095, 01. Soak is good for everything. I'm not worried about warping. Warping can be corrected. Up and down, up and down. Let it stand still. So that's pretty much it for how I do those hunters. Put the next one in. Ooh, that's hot. Should have kept my glove on. Wear gloves. Don't be an idiot. Fire hurts. Especially when it's this radiant. You don't have to get too close to get burnt. Good thing I got a lot of hair on my arms. I've lost a lot over the years. Alright, so that's the baffle that I have in the forge. You see it's red hot, even in the bright light. I took it out so it can cool down because I need to work on this here. This is a large piece of steel I forged out. I'm going to go through and take out a little bit more of the deeper hammer marks and get it all flattened up. So that'll be coming up in the next few minutes of this video. Alright. Get some of these hammer marks out of here. You guys can see how freaking hot it is. I'm not trying to really forge this out anymore. Just trying to get all the hammer marks out. see it. Homemade flatter coming up. There she is. Harbor Freight. Cheap hammer. Some 1/4 inch flat bar welded on. Works pretty good. Does the job. This is where I need 3 hands. Only have 2. Alright, so that's what happens there. Alright, can we pick a section? Stupid if it works. Alright, so the other end then, it's pretty flat. About done with this. So this piece of steel here is 5160. It's going to be cleaver. Kind of a cartoonish cleaver. Not weird. Or that exaggerated cleaver shape. I think it's cool. So as you can probably tell, I don't have a very big shop here. We have a 3-car garage. I have the single car side, which is pretty decent size. One of these days I'll do maybe I'll do a shop tour. It'll take about 5 seconds to do. Not much to this shop. Stuff I have, I've made. I think that may just work the off the side like that. Flat, uniform thickness, forged out, ready for cleavers to be made from it. I don't forge stuff to shape because I'm not great at forging stuff to shape, but I can flatten steel out and cut it to shape. So I'm going to put this back in here to kind of anneal, take some of the stress out of it from beating on it. And we'll get to making those cleavers at a next episode. Okay, so here are the knives that we heat treated. We got a Hunter, bird and trout with a hamon, hopefully. Meat knife, meat slicer with a hamon. And we got another Hunter, OG Hunters. We have another one. So we did 3 Hunters, 1 bird and trout, and 1 meat slicing knife. These have not been tempered yet. So that's the side we heat treated. Here's the back where it didn't get heat treated. Here's the difference. Also on these. And then the back where the clay was. You can hear the difference. So all the knives came out pretty good. No issues. All are hard. All are ready to go. And temper next. I'll clamp them all together. Always clamp the knives together. Probably do something like this. Do this one in the back, and then I'll clamp something flat to the back here to make sure everything stays flat when I temper them. So there you go.